Hello, 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 and happy Wednesday, everybody. We made it, y'all. We made it to the hump. Now let's see if we can make it over the hump. I am so glad to be here this morning. I just woke up on a blessed side of the bed this morning. I'm not gonna be with y'all very long. I am moving and jiving, shaking and jiving. So it's kind of a busy Wednesday for me. I was up late, still working on my book. I'm so excited. It's so good. I can't wait to release my book. And I had to get up early this morning. I got a lot going on today, but I am not complaining. I just thank God that He is using me in the lives of many people to do the things that He has me out here doing. I am extremely blessed. Everything that I do is extremely gratifying, even if I don't, make out, like a fat rat at the end of the day, meaning, my bank account ain't busting out, not yet, but I know that part is coming too. But I'm just extremely just filled with joy and peace and happiness and love, and those are the things that I speak over myself. I speak those things over myself constantly on a regular basis, at night, during the day. I just speak happiness and joy. I felt like dancing this morning. For some reason, I turned on my music and I'm on my way to work, and I am just dancing, and I'm just feeling good, and I'm just telling myself I am happy today, I am happy today. And this is not about me, because like I said, y'all talking to somebody that constantly does the work on a daily basis, and I reap the benefits of me doing the work. I just hope someone has enough faith and trust in God to know that it can work for them too. I don't care how deep you are into whatever situation that's been going on for a long time and you don't understand, and it's not like that for everybody, and I've heard it, but I'm here to tell y'all, peace is for everybody. Joy is for everybody. Love is for everybody. Happiness is for everybody. Joy is for everybody. I don't care who you are, what you've done, how complicated your situation is, and you just been in this for a long time, and you put so much into it, and you think you have to work your way out. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I'm not trying to convince, anybody to walk away from a relationship or a marriage or anything. Like, it could be anything. It could be anything. It could be whatever it is that's holding you bound, that you are sick of the same vicious cycle, continuing to go through the same things day in and day out, over and over and over again, and you tired of it, and you tired of it. And you know what's holding you bound, and you know that you're not happy, that it's making you miserable, whatever that means in your life. Whoever is out there watching this video, you can drop it like a hot potato. I used to say that about myself when I walked away from certain relationships. And my stepmother would always tell me, she said, and even as a child, you would always say, you ain't taking no crap from no man. And I say, I drop them like a hot potato. And that has been the case, quite often. I mean, I know I have dealt with some things over the years, but you ever picked up a hot potato, like fresh out the oven? That potato get hot, like on the inside, like there's heat up in there. If you break that sucker open, that thing some steam going to release out that thing, okay? So I wasn't afraid to release some steam out of my life. Like, these are things that I have been putting into practice, even when people help me at a low standard in their own mind. Somebody said to me, like, you didn't know that that you were going to clean yourself up, from drugs and alcohol, or get out of my addiction or whatever. And I had to correct them on that, because even when in the thickest of it, I always knew that I wanted to get out of it, and I always knew that I was going to get out of it. So they were mistaken. They had it in their mind that I was never going to get out of it. Maybe because I didn't say it to them. Maybe because I didn't say, I'm sick of this. Eventually I'm not going to be living this kind of life anymore. But a lot of people, one person was bold enough to say it to me, but a lot of people probably had it in their mind. They probably already cast me down to the pits of hell forever, in their minds. But I always knew that that was not the kind of life that I wanted to live forever. I didn't want that to be my destiny. I wanted to follow the path of righteousness. I wanted to read. I love the word of God. I love the word of God. I love it. Like, even in my addiction, I would, late at night or early in the morning, I would crack open the Bible and just see what the words in there, like whatever page it would open up to, how it would minister to my spirit. And it always had a way of doing that, of ministering to my spirit in some type of way. But, back to my point being is, you have to not be afraid to let go to whatever it is that may be holding you bound. You might be holding you bound. You might be stuck in your mind thinking in your head that you can't get past a certain point, or or whatever. Sometimes we get in our own way. We like to blame everybody for our shortcomings, but sometimes, baby, it's you. Sometimes I had to realize it was me. I was standing in my own way, and 99% of it was mentally. I would not allow myself to get past a certain point mentally. I remember I was afraid to make a phone call. I was afraid to pick up the phone and maybe set a payment arrangement, or pay my cable bill over the phone, or call the welfare office about my food stamps, or call a job about my application, or whatever. It was just such a feeling of fear that's stricken over me. Like, I didn't know what the other person on the other line would say. I didn't know how they were going to react to me reaching out to them, or whatever. And I really had to, like, conjure up the courage to pick up the phone and make a phone call. That's how bad I was paralyzed in my mind. And a lot of things I didn't get accomplished. A lot of things I would let get all the way up to, to its breaking point, because I was scared to face them. And in all reality, when I started getting up the courage enough to make a phone call, the person on the other end, they were very nice to me. They were very helpful to me. They were very pleasant to me. It was never that deep. And even the ones that wasn't, I'm like, okay, thank you anyway, and you have a nice day. That's it. It was never that deep. And this is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. That is what a lot of situations in our life. Sometimes we put it in our minds that we paralyze ourselves with fear. Like, I'm not going to face that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to whatever it is that that you really want to do. I will simply play a certain song because I really want to hear that song. Or I would simply, just do something that I know that will bring rest to my spirit in that moment. Sometimes I'll book a trip that I don't know how I'm going to finish paying for it. And God always allowed me to finish paying for it. I always go on that trip, and I always have an amazing, beautiful time on that trip. Always, always. It's a lot of things that I just had to release the fear of and just step completely out on faith. Let me tell y'all how insane and crazy my faith is. I uprooted my entire family from one state to another state without a residence. I did not have anywhere to live when I came over to Delaware. I called, all I knew it was time for me to go. I said, Lord God, what do you want me to do? You know, I had started buying a house. I moved from North Philly and I put my kids over in Upper Darby. Beautiful neighborhood, but it wasn't for me. I didn't like living in Upper Darby. I didn't like the house. It was definitely a step up from us living in poverty-stricken neighborhoods in North Philadelphia, but that house in Upper Darby wasn't for me. And then on top of that, my then husband was at his worst behavior. Like, he was at his worst. It did not matter that we moved almost half an hour away from where we used to live at. Like, he was at his absolute worst behavior. When we moved to Delaware, he was at his worst behavior. But that's not my point. You know, I just had to decide. I decided in my mind that it was time to go. I stepped out on faith, and that faith carried me so far. That faith carried me a mighty, mighty, mighty long way. God has opened doors for me that I never imagined. He gave me the strength enough to walk away from that broken marriage. I could still be stuck in a marriage that I know that was not meant for me, or stuck in a city or a state that I know that was not meant for me. I know I talk about my 20-year-old son a lot. I love him so much. That's like my bro times 1,000. I mean, I love all my kids like so much, but my 20-year-old son has came so far, like mentally, physically, spiritually. He is like developing into the man that you can only pray for your child to grow up. Oh, I don't want to get emotional talking about him, but he know he my bro. Like, I tell him every day, like, I'm always so happy. When I look at my kids, I'm just extremely happy and proud of them. But I tell my 20-year-old son almost every day, like, yo, you my bro in real life. Like, you my bro times 1,000,000. Like, he just came such a long way. So having a conversation with him the other day, and he was telling me, like, you know, sometimes he would reach out to his friends in North Philly and, you know, just having some conversations with them about catching up. You know, they went to school together, elementary school, middle school, high school. You know, we moved. They haven't seen each other in a while. And he was like, Mom, I can just tell my mental, like, I don't even think on the same level that they think on. Like, I am in such a way better headspace. That he was like, and I know I wouldn't be there if I was still living down North Philly. He was like, the conversations is you know what I'm saying, for to a certain extent is not even relatable. I mean, they still his friends and he always gonna love them, but his thinking, my son is very intelligent and mature, and I swear he been here before too. The same thing I said about my niece. But he was just saying, like, you know, he was like, I know if we would stay down North Philly, it wouldn't be this. He's so grateful for where he is, and just not to say anything bad about his friends, but he could just see the difference. And it just made me so grateful in my heart, and how much it was worth it for me to uproot my family and move them to another state, because our story could not be folding out as blessed as we are blessed right now. And like, in that moment, like, I was just shouting. I try not to get mushy because they don't like me getting all mushy when I'm talking to them or whatever, but I can't even explain in words how that made me feel just to hear my son talking about how grateful he is because he's not, in the same place mentally, and, all the things that he overcame, and, he's just grateful for where he is today. And he just want to take every opportunity with, in his life, just starting from where he is right now. Like, and I'm just grateful that God gave me the strength to walk away from drugs, to walk away from alcohol, to walk away from the bad marriages, to walk away from poverty-stricken neighborhoods, no residence, nowhere to stay. That's crazy, retarded, insane faith. All I know is God said move, and next thing you know, I had a U-Haul truck in front of my house. Moved to Delaware, put my stuff in storage, lost everything in storage. Had a car, lost my car, got repoed, lost everything. And it started from scratch, walked away from the bad marriage. God gave me a brand new life. He said, you don't need it. Every piece of furniture in my house is brand spanking new. Some of my stuff ain't even take the tags off of it yet. From my couches down to my dining room sets. And I'm talking about nice stuff. And I lost this stuff that I had in storage, and none of it even compares to what I have right now. And I'm not just saying that to brag on myself, but sometimes we could be so scared to walk away from the things that we are holding on to that's not meaning us no good anyway. But you never know what God has in store for you. I am a walking, living, breathing miracle. Like, God just... Listen, my testimony, I lost everything and started from scratch. And you know what? God never said it was going to be easy. The one thing that I always prayed for was grace. I said, God, please allow me the grace to make it through the things that I'm going through. And he blessed me the whole way. The whole way. I moved to Delaware. I found me a nice church home. That's a whole nother family right there. When I ain't had money to pay my electric bill, my pastor stepped right on in. I got a church home in Philly. That's always going to be my church home. And I got a church home here in Delaware. And when I need somebody, I can get up and call my churchmen. They call me. I call them. I could call anybody in my church if I'm feeling down, if I need somebody to talk to. I could call my pastor. I could call my pastor and talk to her. She will talk to me. God provided me with everything I needed, down to the last thing, everything, whether it be finances, a car to drive, food to eat, money to make. God said, okay, you want to go out here and make some money? Here you go. Make some money. My customers love me. I can't even walk in a barbershop to get my kids' haircut without having food to sell them. They like, where the food at? Like, they looking at me like I got two heads if I walk in the establishment and I'm not selling them food. They love my food out here. I'm like, no, y'all, I ain't here to sell food today. I'm just coming to get my kids' haircut. Listen, if it's money that I need to make, God made a way on every single level, not missing nothing, not wanting nothing, not yearning for nothing, not scared for nothing, not afraid for nothing, completely starving my fears and stepping out on faith. And it all starts in your mind. This is what I'm telling y'all. It's a mental. It's mental. It's more mental than if you break loose them fears that's going on in your mind, we scared to do everything. We scared to lose weight. We scared to try different foods. We scared to take the trip. We scared to get in a relationship. We scared to start a business. We scared to write a book. We scared to have a conversation with our loved ones. We scared to talk about some things. We scared to have a good relationship with our kids. Yo, call your kids. Those out there who have adult kids, call your grandkids. You know, someone told me the other day, I said, I ain't gonna say who it is, but she said her grandson just had a baby. And she was waiting for them to post some stuff on Facebook. She just wanted to know that a baby was healthy, 10 fingers, 10 toes. And I said, why don't you get on the phone and call your grandson? No, no, no. He ain't gonna want to talk to me. Call him anyway. Call him anyway. You're his mother's mother. Whether he want to talk to you anyway, that's your great grandbaby, and you just want to know if they doing all right. I don't care if my kids want to talk to me or not. I will show up at my kids' front door. They be like, Mom, what you doing here? Yeah, I will be a stalker if I have to when it come down to mine, whether you like it or not. If I'm concerned about you and I love you, like, there's no hurt, no foul, no harm in love. At the end of the day, love always wins. Always. Even through all this violence, through the wars, through the crimes, through the shooting, through the hate, all of it. Through the jealousy, through the envy, through the cheating, through the deceit, through the lies, all of it. Love, truth, honesty, peace, joy, happiness, those things are always going to reign supreme. Even when you don't think it is. Y'all think the enemy is having his way. That's because y'all give him too much credit. Y'all need to give God credit where it is due. Where credit is due. Give the credit where the credit is really due. The enemy can't get over or nothing without permission from God. I told you when the enemy tried to take my life, God told the enemy straight up, get your hands off my child. And I heard him loud and clear. He said, get your hands off my child. You know, we give power and we give praise to the wrong things, to celebrity, to materialistic things, to the person with the most likes and all of this kind of stuff. But what's really real, y'all know what's real. Y'all know the things of the world that is really real. The word says, do not conform to the ways of this world. And we steady seeing nobody wants to be original anymore. Everybody wants to be a duplicate or do what everybody else is doing. I swear I still got an Android. I'm talking to y'all right now from a straight up Android. Had one for years. Always had one. Always going to have one. I have no desire to get no iPhone. I got a nice, cute little phone. It's for me. You know, it ain't outdated, it ain't old or nothing like that. It got a couple camera zooms back there and I can do all kinds of stuff with a nice phone, okay? Not cheap phone. And I like my Android. I have no desire to get an iPhone just because everyone else has a freaking iPhone. I don't want one. So I just say that to say, don't be afraid to go after what your heart says. Don't be afraid to go after joy, love, happiness, and peace. Don't be afraid to free yourself in your mind today. Don't be afraid, because you never know what waits on the other side for you. So listen, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I want this to be the best Wednesday y'all ever had, that y'all can ever imagine. Like, speak so many good, positive, and lovely things over yourself and watch what happens. Watch what unfolds. You will feel good on the inside if you start breathing, speaking, living, thinking positive things over your life. Try it. Believe me, it works. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Please have a blessed and happy and healthy Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow.